Hello. Today I'm gonna be playing the Big Dipper. I'm gonna just be reading, but let's get started. Welcome to Big Dipper. The controls for the game are as follows: cross button, confirm; square button, next line; circle button, back; triangle button, open menu; press the cross button to continue; confirm. Those are the controls.
Nicholas, that's 8. Andrew, you take them. I gave Pops a long, hard stare. I couldn't do anything about it, even if I tried. Lack of sleep hindered my movements, accumulated in dark bags under my eyes. Every time I tried to smile, I looked like an absolute madman. Nicholas, don't be like that. A drink? I think I have some Belgian ale laying round in the fridge. Andrew, that's 9. Please, I'll have to drive later. Nicholas, hump. We were sitting in a smoking area of a furniture workshop and counting cars that had New Year trees tied to their roofs, almost like captive beauties to an Aboriginal skewer. People only started caring about the holidays right before the eve, so they were selling like hotcakes at a triple price. Some of the beauties had already exposed an inexcusable amount of bare skin. Nicholas chewed on his pipe and let out a thick cloud of smoke. I pushed a fat envelope towards him. It contained 5 years of my labor, 5 years of insomnia, as well as my endless gratitude. Seeing how reluctant he was to accept the money, I laid back in my chair. Andrew, they're working in the forest again. I saw some equipment near the edge of it recently. Nicholas, blast beers. Don't spend too much time outside today. A blizzard is coming. Andrew, come on. There's nothing about that in the forecast. The old man held a mysterious pause. Andrew, hey Pops. Nicholas, Andrew, do you really believe in it? Nicholas. That's 10, don't you? Andrew, nah, that's in the realm of fairy tales. Nicholas, do they report on fairy tales often in the press? Andrew, fear takes molehills for mountains. It's just your average bear. Reporters will eat up anything, since they can rarely scrap even 6 pages worth of material. Nicholas, what about the second crew and the third? All of them scared shitless by an average bear. Also, go tell that to those hunkers who went in armed to the teeth and came back with tails between their legs. Andrew, 11? Well, you live there, so you tell me. Were you there at the time? Nicholas, maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. Hard to tell. Why do you ask? Got a fright? Andrew, I'm just curious. Nicholas, if you bear no ill will, you have nothing to fear. Andrew, I'm not scared. I'm telling you. I lazy waved the old man away. During my 5 years living in the middle of the forest, I had never encountered anything supernatural. But I did meet a lot of bears. They were the real threat. Andrew, will you take it or not? Nicholas ignored my question. Nicholas, 12. You said your mom will be coming for a business trip. Where is she? Andrew, she's already been in town for 2 days. I hesitated for a moment. Nicholas, oi, what's wrong? Andrew, she's always too busy. Do you think there's much work for a lawyer in the country? Nicholas, hell if I know. Andrew, we barely talked even though I called her a number of times. I also have no idea where she's staying. Andrew, I can't even go pick her up. She said she'll come by a corporate car. I'm tired of this and don't want to seem clingy. Nicholas, she was the one to suggest celebrating New Year's together though. Andrew, and I thought she was lonely at first, acting like a happy fool, and now I'm convinced it's just her guilty conscience. Nicholas, don't fret. Every parent is lonely without their child. I'm as cold-hearted as they get, but I still miss my offspring. Nicholas, I'll be alright once you meet her. What was it? 13? Okay, Andrew. Why won't you contact that offspring of yours? Nicholas scratched his beard. Nicholas, my son and his wife, every earthly blessing upon her, are my total opposites. They lack in forest spirit, you see. They abhor living in the wilderness among us rednecks. Nicholas, and I don't intrude. My granddaughter is always more than enough for me. Wonderful lass. Now, that's where my blood flows deep. Tomboyish, rebellious, hands of gold. She's around your age. I already knew all of that. I've been working with Pops for years, and he told me a myriad of stories. Half of them involve that girl. Nicholas let out a dreamy sigh. Nicholas, I wonder what she looks like right now. Does she remember riding on Gran's back? Andrew, probably. Childhood is the most memorable part of one's life. The old man started reminiscing, but I had no desire to join him. I tapped my finger on the table. Andrew, 14, just take it. Nicholas, cut it out, will ya? Andrew, be as mad as you like, but I just can't sleep well knowing I have such a huge debt to pay off. Truth be told, my debt to this man was undescribably large, but I was hell-bent on returning the monetarily part of it, at the very least. Nicholas, the house is a gift. Andrew, the money is also a gift, and declining a gift on New Year's Eve is, in your own words, a blasphemy. Nicholas, you little bugger. He shot me a look of full distrust, and I fabricated the sorriest expression I could muster. Nicholas, oh, all right. But not a penny more, you hear? Finally. I heaved a sigh of relief. My last bit of strength left me as the air left my lungs, and I stopped resembling a human being altogether. I spread all over the chair like an amoeba, half asleep. Nicholas, I guess I'll be celebrating alone this year. Andrew, sorry. I promise you though, as soon as that woman disappears like she's always does, I'll bring a box of the best cider I can find, and I'm not gonna leave until we finish it. Nicholas, who did you just call that woman? You numbskull. I remember picking up a little crybaby who always missed his mommy. What was his name again? Right. Andrew? Andrew. Alright. I get it. Nicholas. Don't worry. I have my own business to attend to. On the eve, I'll just get into my old costume and treat children at the square to some candy. I could hardly part my eyelids. Spruces kept passing by the window, but I'd already lost count of them. 17? 19? Nicholas had also forgotten about our little game. Andrew, just don't do anything illegal, okay? I want to be able to get you out of jail tonight. Nicholas burst with laughter. I was ready to be absorbed into the chair, and the only thing keeping me above its surface was a particular feeling I couldn't suppress. Andrew, hey Pops. Nicholas, Andrew, thank you. Nicholas, what are you talking about? Andrew, I mean, seriously, thank you. He went silent for a moment, seemingly embarrassed, then tapped my shoulder. Nicholas, rest a bit. I'll be sure to wake you up later. You did a damn good job. And at that point, I fell asleep. Nicholas, oh, baby boy, get up. You should go before it gets dark. It felt like I spent at least 2 hours dreaming away. Nicholas, here, take this. A key to the cellar. It's full of old junk. But you'll also find some holiday stuff there. Toys and such. To make your guests happy. You may even strike up a decent conversation while getting the tree all pretty. Well then, see you next year. And I took off. The seats felt freezing cold, especially after getting out of that warm, comfy chair. The truck's heater was barely enough to save my hands and feet from going numb. From all the places I've visited in my life, this town, the coldest in the whole country and full of worn down huts and small apartment complexes, extended me the warmest of welcomes. The extreme cold was nothing out of the ordinary here. There was a single somewhat warm month for the entire year, and the other 11 you could characterize as severe frost or freezing cold. People here were hard to read. They seemed rude at first glance, but were actually very open and strong-willed, with boiling blood as tough as the local weather. They cried and laughed equally loud. They supported and taunted each other like one close-knit family. And though I mostly spent my time either in a house in the middle of the forest or at the old man's workshop, I really like to visit the market or the hockey field from time to time. They were always crowded, and everything there left an impression of sincerity and hospitality that you won't be able to find anywhere else in the world. Every New Year's Eve, the main and the only prominent street was decorated with lights of all sorts, and the storefronts were plastered with paper snowflakes, the kind kids make in kindergarten. A giant tree and an ice town would be set up in the central square, a town that could last up to half a year, thanks to the cold and the polar night. Stalls with all sorts of hot drinks and food also grew up around the town, like mushrooms after the rain, and children along with their not so sober parents rode in reindeer carriages. I was there once with Nicholas, and I'll surely remember that day for the rest of my life, even though it wouldn't be for the whole atmosphere. I live outside of town and spend a lot of time in my car, but at least I sleep in a warm bed, much better compared to the cramped shed at the workshop. Nicholas would even sleep in the smoking area sitting. The road I used every day was called the Bear Trail. It got the name after the incident that occurred 10 years ago, when the forest was scheduled for a cut down. Something went wrong on day one. Woodcutters were scared off by a ferocious roar, which, if one was to believe them, made the whole forest tremble and broke down their equipment. Someone even claimed to see a giant bear, 6 meters tall. The higher-ups decided that the whole crew was drinking too much, so they hired a new one. But they also didn't last long. In the end, the idea of cutting down that forest was put off for an indefinite period of time. That time ended now. Brand new worker housing and equipment could be seen at the forest entrance. Wood cutting crews were smoking outside the canteen while staring at the thicket. And while I was skeptical towards these kinds of tales, I was still somewhat intrigued by them, like a child who knew that Santa Claus wasn't real. But some waited for presents to magically appear under the tree every year. Obviously, Nicholas warned me about everything before handing out the keys to the house. I was a regular guest at his place and had never seen this 6 meters tall bear. According to my calculations, a bear of this size wouldn't be able to move under hindering in such a thick forest, no less hide in it. Normal bears would be another matter entirely. I met them quite often, so I bought myself a gun. There was no time. I had to sit locked up in my car for 2 hours straight. I waited until the bear would stop trying to break into the car and go its own way. I even waited 30 more minutes to make sure it wasn't coming back. I had another such guest today. It was obvious from the tracks still fresh in the snow. Giant paws led straight to my front door. The veranda was empty. I listened closely. There was no unnecessary sound, only spruces crackling from the cold. I threw my gun over the shoulder, snatched the plastic bags, and ran towards the house. The beast was probably still nearby, searching for shelter or food. I had no intention of proving it with either, be it the ham I carried or my own meat. The lock was intact, as was the door, which meant it didn't try to break into the house. Maybe it just went over the rails and continued on. I locked the door from the inside and looked out the window. I caught a glimpse of something moving between the tree trunks in the distance. I quickly persuaded myself that this was the beast disappearing back inside with relief. My numb hands were difficult to control. Magazines and tissues flew into the fireplace. They would be perfect fuel to start the fire. It still took me 5 matches to be successful, though. My fingers tingled a little. Well, it seemed like I wouldn't lose my hands just yet. Andrew, still some fire left in me. The moment I said that, darkness descended upon me with a clink. I woke up from the pain in the back of my head, and that meant I was knocked out by something heavier than a simple headache. The cling came from my lifesaver in the field of scrambled eggs and fried potatoes, a cast iron frying pan. Someone who uses things like that for not so gentle persuasion certainly doesn't have any good intentions. My vision gradually came back. For a while, I couldn't make out a clear silhouette behind the colorful mess. But then I saw a girl crouching before me. With a gun in her hands. My gun. I was staring down its barrel, and the girl was staring at me. Intently. Without blinking. Andrew. Well, not much fire left now. A finger that was clutching the trigger had moved, and I shut my eyes, ready to pass on to the other side. But the shot never came. The girl was hindered by her mittens, the gun constantly slipping out of her hands, and she tried to get a firmer grip on it, risking to blow my head clear off. Every time she did that, her eyes were accusing me of some hideous crime, and I felt deeply ashamed, even though I didn't know exactly how I wronged her. She kept on being silent. I had no words either. It's pretty cold outside, isn't it? Please, don't kill me. Care for some tea? What a way to start the conversation. The ringing in my ears weren't helping either. What? Andrew. Hello? I tried to make the first step. The girl's eyes went wide, but she clutched the gun even harder. Andrew, did I do something wrong? Girl, I don't know yet. Her voice was full of seething hostility, as if a gun pointed at my face wasn't enough to show her intentions. Andrew, and you will never know if you shoot me. Girl, do you take me for a murderer? I think my statement just now made her furious. Andrew, then why do you keep that thing pointed at me? Girl, I just don't know what to expect from you. Andrew, I can assure you, I didn't plan anything criminal. I just wanted to come back home and... Girl, is this the bear corner? I figured it was futile to argue about being interrupted. The name caught my attention. I remembered Nicholas giving the house. That name, when it was still in the planning phase. Andrew, that's right. Girl, why do you call it your home? Andrew, because I do live here. She stared at me with distrust. Andrew, please, would you lower that gun? It'll make the conversation so much more comfortable for both of us. She hesitated for a moment, but then swiftly grabbed the pen and rushed to the other side of the room. Girl, no sudden moves. Andrew, can I at the very least stand up? She curtly nodded, and I slowly stood up. My ears were ringing, and my brain felt like mushed potatoes, even though I couldn't feel any bumps on my head. Now she was eyeing me cautiously. I could move freely and was much larger and stronger than her. I kept my distance so I wouldn't scare her into doing something rash and unreasonable. She didn't look like a thief or a harmful person in general, but that didn't explain what business she had in these parts. Andrew, let's start from the beginning. Name's Andrew. I've been living in this house for 5 years, and today I drove here in my car, unlocked the door with my key like I always do, and got hit over the head with the frying pan. What's your story? Girl, 5 years? Come on, couldn't you at least give me your name? Girl, how is that possible? And what about? She sank to the floor, color draining from her face. Girl, it can't be. My lady guest gave the room a look over and started crying. Girl, I was too late? Her very sob echoed painfully inside my head. It was almost as if my eardrums were being scratched by sandpaper. I tried to gather my thoughts, but they were scattering about like frightening rabbits. I had to give her credit for still holding on to that frying pan, though. Andrew, can I help you in any way? Girl, how long ago? No, the previous owner. Where can I find his? His what? His workshop? She had to squeeze the words out of herself. They were basically drowning in a sea of tears. When I was finally able to piece the puzzle together, it hit me. Too late. She presumed him to be dead. It all made sense now. There was no way a random person could find this house and worry about some stranger. Andrew, I think there's some sort of misunderstanding. Nicholas is alive and well. He's just not living here anymore. The sobs stopped it. Now only hiccups disturbed the silence of the room. I was almost ready to relax, but the house shook from another wave of tears. What a relief! Andrew, please stop crying. Everything is fine. I was never taught how to deal with situations like that. How should I calm her down? Did she have some sort of switch for that? A stop word, maybe? I wanted to help her up, but she went completely silent as soon as I took a single step. An eerie silence. Even the hiccups were gone. Girl, keep your distance. I took a step back. She resumed crying. I took a step forward. She went silent once again. Girl, you're playing with fire. I'm still the one with the gun. Andrew, hey, let's do it without threats. I just wanted to help you. It's not a good idea to sit on the cold floor. She sprang to her feet. Girl, now can you move away? Andrew, as you wish. Not very sociable, are you? Well, sorry for not letting total strangers into my personal space. And from the two of us, I believe you're the one who decided to seclude yourself in the middle of the forest. So, who are you to comment on my social skills? I wanted to retort, but my thoughts were cut short by a strange sound. My guest was obviously hungry. Girl, you did not hear that, alright? Where do I find Grandpa? Is he in town? Andrew, he lives in an old workshop. It's on. She shut the door on me. Such poor manners. Did she just up and leave? I checked inside my pockets. The car keys were there. The gun and the pen were also left behind. Andrew, what a crazy woman.